Alright. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the DIY Bourgeoisie. I am, as always, Gucci Dry Bread. Today I'm showing you how to clean and care for and wax a Chinese table screen. Now, I'm using a little Kleenex with some, wax on it. Really, the cleaning part I already did, but it is a two-phase process, and the phases are very similar. It's just that you're going over with something to clean it first, and second, wax. And so I think the wax is more interesting, and that's what I'm showing you. So this has all this beautiful and delicate mother of pearl inlay on it, with flowers and vines and little Chinese pavilions. And so I was being very careful not to get any on the inlay, or to the best of my abilities, because we don't want to do anything that will discolor or tarnish the inlay. We want to keep it as vibrant as possible. Now, this piece dates back to the 1850s, and where I live in Minnesota, and this piece appears to have been in Minnesota for quite a while, and believe me, it was very, very, very dry when I got it. You can see just the color change as I go through this. And waxing it, I think, is a very, very fun and frankly cathartic process, because it really brings out the grain. In this piece, I think it's rosewood or sandalwood, one of those. I'm no wood expert. But it just erupts, it goes from being very pale and dull to having a pattern that looks like tiger's eye. Tiger's eye, the stone, not the actual tiger's eye, mind you. But, whoever named the stone must have thought, hey, this looks like a tiger's eye, so maybe. But, maybe back when the tiger's eye was named, people didn't get up so close to tigers. The tiger was, at least in East Asian culture, dreaded as a devourer of souls. So people really didn't want to get anyone near them. But anyway, so here we are, we're just chugging about, and so we're over with a Kleenex to get the broad strokes details, and then we use this little Q-tip with just a little bit on it to go in between the fine inlay. And the thing about going over with the Q-tip with not so much on it is that really you have to do it about twice. So, and I have sped up this video by a factor of 2. So this is a 14-minute long video. Really, this is about, and I did crop a little out too. So really, this is about 30 minutes worth of work. People's attention spans are getting shorter, and I don't want to narrate over the whole thing. I should have narrated as I was doing this, but there was a TV on in the background, and dogs barking, people walking by, so it's just easy. I have to narrate over it. So here we are. So chugging along here, I'm going to show you mostly focus on the upper left panel. And I should say that this is just, what I've done here is less than a fifth of the whole front of the panel, of the screen moreover. So I think all in all, I have probably 1/5 is 30 minutes. Let's see. So it's at least probably 3 hours just polishing the front side. And the back side was much easier because there's no inlay, which really helps a lot. You just go very, very quickly, as you see here. So just taking a Kleenex, doing broad strokes with this little inlay. It just has a copious amount of mother of pearl inlay. If this was all ivory inlay, I don't think it could be sold because there would be so much ivory. It is rather a shame what's going on with ivory, I think, especially antique ivory. It is just as endangered, moreover, as the elephants, in a sense, but it has not aged well in the eyes of government regulators. Even if you do have certifications proving it's old, and it's very subject to seizure even still. I've heard of entire antique dealers who specialized in antique ivory having the whole collection seized. So, monetary-wise and resale value-wise, it is a good thing. Resellability-wise, frankly, it is good that it is mother of pearl. Which it is a shame, to have a 150-year-old piece destroyed just because it has ivory inlay. Um, and I think culturally speaking, we do rear our heads at the ugly parts of our history, and I think it is important to, about 50, 100 years out, it is very possible that elephants do go extinct, and I think it is important, especially if elephants do go extinct, to remember why they go extinct, to see the beauty that they was created out of them, which is a tragedy. But and there are other white materials like plaster or resin or bone, which can be used to very similar effects. But anyway, I digress. So you see here we're getting really in all the minute details. Again, this is twice sped up, so I'm really going in much more slowly, but you can just see how the wood comes alive and how the ivory just and I'm sorry, not ivory, mother of pearl inlay pops even more so. It's just, I think, very, very, very beautiful, and frankly cathartic process. So I went out all the way, about a 2-hour journey to Wilmer to get this piece, Wilmer, Minnesota. And Minnesota climates it is very dry air, and it's not that good for wood. So I think I'm going to have to do some again on my opium bed soon. Well, and I shouldn't call it an opium bed. I should call it a Chinese canopy bed or a Chinese wedding bed. And I'm resistant to calling it a wedding bed because, well, I'm not married. But anyway, digressing. So, but in this dry air, it just sucks the moisture out of wood. So, I do think this is from the late, maybe 1800s, maybe 1870s or so. But, there are certain things about the construction which make me think it might be a little older. It is exceptionally dry, especially in the middle. But, I can't really, I'm not going to carbon date it. But it does seem to me that the base, which I'm not showing you, was added at a later date than the rest of the screen, because they covered up part of the inlay. And it just seems to me, well, if you knew you were going to put this on feet, with cute little mounts that go into the feet, why have the mount cover up part of the inlay? It's a waste of inlay, it's a waste of effort. It just seems very strange to me. So, the Chinese were very, very reverent of previous and older things, and giving them new life or new appreciations of modern mounts or surroundings. So it is a bit of a mystery to me, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was a little older than I originally thought it was. But anyway, I think it's just so beautiful. So here we are, just tidying up all the last little spots in between the tree and the birds off in the distance. And I do think it's showing this pavilion. It's not a pagoda because it doesn't have multiple tiers. It's just a little pavilion under a tree through multiple seasons. Now, I don't really show that in this video. Maybe doing that, I have much, much more footage. But so I pretty much finished this central medallion, and there's a center one which is probably 4 times the size of this, maybe 9 times actually. I would say 9, but so there's just always more to do here. And the thing with using this wax is that you have to wipe it off, but this was so dry that I just left it on for 24 hours. So, and wiping it off around the inlay, I didn't really wipe it off around the inlay, I'm remiss to say. But anyway, I don't think there wasn't that much put on around the inlay, but doing the more woody parts is important. And as I said, since you're using a Q-tip to apply around the inlay, you really have to do it twice, I say, especially when it's so dry. Let's see, so I'm just tidying up some more sections, again doing broad strokes of a Kleenex, And now the Kleenex that you use is rather important. I should say facial tissue, not to give any brand endorsements, but I did use a 2-ply Kleenex without lotion. Now I think it's exceptionally important here that we are using a Kleenex without lotion, because otherwise that whatever the hell is in that lotion will get into the wood. And, well, frankly, I just personally detest Kleenex with lotions, and especially Puffs. Oh, Puffs. Puffs. Oh, what a terrible brand. You blow into it and your nose just comes out covered in this slimy substance which doesn't really get absorbed by the skin or by the Kleenex, frankly. It's just awful, and it gets all over your fingers, and oh, I just hate Kleenex with lotion. I think they're the most disgusting abomination ever, and they're so expensive, so needlessly expensive. Why spend the money? When you just come out slimy. Oh, use some real actual proper lotion. But anyway, here we are getting in with the Q-tip. It's fun to watch this on 2x speed, frankly. And, I would have recorded the commentary I was making as I was doing this. But, it's rather meditative. You don't really, meditative and frankly cathartic. You don't really think of anything smart to say as you're doing it. But B, I was doing this in the hallway before I hung it. But, people going by, the TV in the background, dog barking, there's all this background chatter, and it's just easier to record a voiceover after the fact. So, anyway, here we're going, and, I think I don't know, there's just a quality here to the furniture that you don't see in modern furniture today. Well, not modern furniture that isn't a tremendously god-awful price. You don't find this kind of craftsmanship, certainly at IKEA or anything like that. And even in antique shops, it is hard to come by. But, oh, look at this grain here. I just love it. That's what I say when I mean tiger's eye. Oh, so beautiful. But, and it is rather sad that both the pace of our lives and the pace of society and the capitalist system have really suffocated the pursuit of artisanal constructs and really an appreciation of craftsmanship. And I think it is very important that we as a society conserve these things. Because we just don't have them anymore. Without, again, a tremendous price tag. Or even the skills are getting lost. It's a similar tale with clocks. No one has wind-up clocks anymore, or very, very few people do, and it's even rare, aside from finding someone for a wind-up clock, to find someone who repairs them. All the technical institutes in community colleges have gotten rid of the clock repair classes, which is sad, frankly. Who will ultimately be able to fix the great clocks in our cathedrals and churches, So, I think antiques bring out a certain sense of nostalgia for craftsmanship and things like that. And anyway, so really, this is a video I took really towards the end of the waxing phase. So here I'm showing you everything, kind of looking for some small spots. But there we are, we're done. Ta-da!